You know, we've all been told that we have this light inside of us. And we've been encouraged to learn to use your light. That inner light that we all have to protect those around us. Like you say, Bonnie, every time.
Every time I get in the car, I take that light and I push it out. I do it with my family and my friends. And the aliens explain to us that this light is a gift from God. It's the spark that's in your soul. And by using it, we expand it out. And if you really use it well, people can actually see that light. They don't physically see it, but they see that there's something different in you that some people don't have.
We were asked to give some examples with this. One time I was at a gas station, and for some reason I was saying a prayer and sending out the light, and there was a dog in the car next to me, and as soon as I sent out the light, his head shifted. His head like followed something. So they say animals are a little more sensitive to some stuff like that. Plus, like street lights at night, they're very sensitive to the light and dark. So when it gets dark, the light sensor goes on and shines a light. So if a person had a very positive either thought or prayer sending out the light, I don't know how many times have people walked under street lights and they go out. When I was a kid, I thought, oh my gosh, what are the chances of me looking at a street light the exact moment it goes out? The next day, without anybody changing the bulb, it was back on.
Right.
So, but
that's a good way to understand.
Yeah, it's like you can't see it, but something senses it. It is a actual thing, and it is. I can't say it might be physical, but it is an actual thing. It is something.
Using the light and sending out the light is actually like a visualization in your mind where it starts out, and it emanates from your heart or chest center area, and it's a gift from the Creator. It's not that we are Him, it's that He's given us a piece of Him, and it resides in that area. And the couple times that I can think of where I used it in a big way was when I sensed danger or trouble, particularly at a UFO event, and I felt that there were some negative species were coming into the area, and I just shoot it out like a bubble as big as you can imagine from your being, and then you must use it in conjunction with what your faith and your belief is in your Creator or your source. So I asked Him in conjunction with me to please protect the area, because sometimes these things are so strong and so negative that you can't go up against it alone. You have to work in conjunction with your God, your Creator. So that was one time. Another time at my place of employment, they do exponentiate on the Halloween factor, which to me is a negative holiday. So I actually envisioned a huge beam of light shooting straight up into the sky, and asked God, please funnel your light, your love into this area, and just saturate the whole area with your love.
I can't remember, it was Lee or Mon who told us this, that sometimes you're not even conscious of doing this. When there's a dangerous situation, you're about to get hit by something, or something you feel an urgent sense of danger, automatically for a lot of people the light, it just is shot out.
It does take practice, though.
After you do it for a while.
You have to do it and do it and do it, and it does become automatic. And I think it's very interesting that children can sense this in people more than we do, because we've kind of put it on the back burner.
Well, and I think their third eye is still open yet, more so. So they sense things.
Yes. My granddaughter was maybe about 3 years old, and we took her for a treat for lunch. at a fast food restaurant, I won't name it. And there was a playground in there, and all of a sudden she started screaming, and she came running to me, and she says, "Oh, grandma, grandma, grandma." And she came and plopped herself in my arms, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she says, "That boy, he's evil. He's evil." Now, how would a 3-year-old, and yet another time, she'll meet someone, and at that time she just go up and start talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was barely talking good, but she sensed that the person was good
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't going to be any harmful to her. And, you know, it's just, you know, and we have got to realize that even a tree has a life force.
Oh yeah.
Your food has a life force, and we should be thankful that they give up their life to help us, especially food. We should always say a little prayer and thank them for giving themselves up to give us subsistence so that we can survive.
And we start out our life with all these senses are open and our intuitions are open, and then it starts getting less and less. So as an adult, you have to cultivate that again and open all those spiritual centers up again so that your intuition is on.
That's why it's nice to have a pet, because cats can sense things around you that, you know, dogs can't, and you know, they'll all of a sudden they'll look at a spot in the room, and when they start acting strange, we are supposed to use the light, push it out, and then surround your house and the cat with the light, and then because there's some negative in the house or in the room, don't go to negative thoughts. You know, because that's what they want you to do. And
Yeah, they want to, your negative thoughts kind of invite them in.
yeah, and I remember, you know, we would get together a couple of times a year for an intensive weekend where we would come up with questions, thoughts, ideas, and plans. And one morning, we asked, I think it was Mon, said, well, the Rays tried to break in last night. They were around the cabin, so don't forget to use your lights tonight. You know, use your prayer, use your lights, because the negative side always looks for an opportunity.
And they don't like that light.
No.
And they respect it.
They have to, because it repels them.
Mm-hmm.
It actually hurts them.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stand that light.
Well, Russ was talking about the cats, and I foster cats, and I've had several of them be in tune to something, and they're tracking something. And I actually shared this with my volunteer foster coordinator. She's like, Kathy, you know, you've had this a few times, and do you believe in ghosts? And I said, yes, you know, and I said, you know, this is strange because I don't align myself with this side. And she said, I know. So what I had to go ahead and do then is actually go around through and ask God to bless and cleanse my home more than once. But the cats are very in tune to that. And especially when you have more than one cat and they're both tracking it. So you know there's something they're sensing. And Bonnie, will you share the time in your driveway when you came home? What was in your driveway?
Oh, you mean the reptilian?
Yeah, what happened?
I came home and the reptilian was between the driveway, garage, and house. And I was shocked that it would even be there. But I sent out my light and I sent out love. Because the light is one thing, but you send love to them and they don't know what to do with that. If you're negative, they can feed off from that, but they can't feed off from the love. That they just cannot do that. And I sent out the light and the love, and it just disappeared. And I didn't waste any time getting in the house.
Right.
But how-
Even if it was gone.
How long were you out on the back deck, sending him light?
Not very long. Not very long, because I've practiced it for, what, 30 years now?
Mhm.
And it didn't take much, because it was instant. Saw it, boom, out it goes.
And when you say you saw him physically.
Physically. Yep. Yep, physically he's standing there. And at first, I took a step back because it surprised me, but then, boom, I sent the light out, and I could see that he was stopped right in his tracks. But then with that, I sent out love too. And he just, I don't know if he left or when another, he just disappeared. Because I can't see, there's bushes there.
Mhm.
But that reaffirmed to me that how strong this is. Because most people, when they talk about reptilians, they can't do anything to fight them. But there are ways that it can be done.
You have to have the knowledge. First of all, you have to have the knowledge that you can stop it. You have to have the belief and the faith.
100%.
So,
99% leaves one count.
Pinpoint
you
it
know,
out.
we can't fault anybody at fault because if they don't have this knowledge, so you have to have that first, you know, and then the faith and belief comes along with it. That it will work. And it does.